A federal whistleblower says that Kash Patel's misuse of FBI planes is now harming investigations. Hi, my name is Suri Crow, and you're watching the Midas Touch Network. By now, I'm sure you've seen the mega viral video of Kash Patel celebrating the U.S. men's Olympic hockey gold medal victory in Milano, Italy. The FBI's Fox tried to spin the trip to Italy as some serious business trip that the director was taking, but the whole world could clearly see that what Kash Patel was doing was smashing beers and boozing it up with what he calls his boys, right? Well, now a whistleblower tells the Senate Judiciary Committee that Kash's mishandling of FBI resources is hurting Bureau investigations, according to NBC News.
Whistleblower has reported to the Senate Judiciary Committee Democratic ranking member Dick Durbin that FBI Director Kash Patel's use of his jet, the government jet, the FBI jet, has harmed actual investigations. The whistleblower says that in December of 2025, when there was a mass shooting at Brown University, Kash Patel was on his government FBI director jet in Florida, we are told, and that there was only one other available jet. But Patel had ordered it to be put on standby for another team. And that meant that during this mass shooting, an evidence review team based in the Washington, Virginia area that would normally immediately respond to a major crisis, a major crime scene like this, was delayed. They could not use the plane. And instead, they drove through the night of the 13th and the early morning of the 14th to get to Providence, Rhode Island from Virginia. They happened to also drive through a snowstorm to get there, but they were significantly delayed, according to this whistleblower's account. And by the way, also according to multiple sources that spoke to Ken and to me.
You guys have also been reporting on the various trips that he's taken. There's the Olympics just the other day where he was seen shotgunning a beer with the U.S. men's hockey team. But there's also been a number of trips to Nashville to see his girlfriend and the like.
That's right. When he was basically just a Trump ally, hoping Trump would be reelected for a second term, Kash Patel gave an interview in which he said they should ground Chris Wray's director jet and said that it cost $15,000 every time it took off, which is not far off actually in dollar amount. The rules require the FBI director to travel on this jet so that in a time of crisis, he can quickly be returned to secure communications or to Washington to manage said crisis. The issue inside, and this goes to your first question, Katie, the issue is that inside the FBI, agents and operatives are growing increasingly frustrated and frankly disdainful of how the director is choosing to use the jet. Whether it's for personal or for business reasons, his choices of where to fly, when, is having an impact, in their view, on the actual mission. And now Senator Dick Durbin has released a letter, which we obtained a copy of today, in which he's asking the Inspector General for the Department of Justice and the Government Accountability Office to begin to investigate his use of the jet in ways that Durbin says are harming actual criminal investigations.
Here's how Congressman Seth Moulton of Massachusetts reacted to Kash Patel's use of government resources in a recent interview.
Patel put out a tweet that said, "For the very concerned media, yes, I love America and was extremely humbled. One of my friends, the newly minted gold medal winners on Team USA, invited me into the locker room to celebrate this historic moment. Greatest country on earth and greatest sport on earth." What do you think of his justification for being there?
If Kash Patel loved America, he would hold up the Constitution. He would uphold it with his agency. He would stop firing people when they try to obey the law and it's not in the political interests of Donald Trump. He would actually speak out when Donald Trump pardons hundreds of insurrectionists who tried to overthrow our government on January 6th. Kash Patel does not love America. He loves Donald Trump, and he's trying to take every political advantage of his position that he can. That's what was going on in that locker room.
Yeah, I would argue that Crash just loves himself, or is that insecure? I mean, he's just a clown, completely unserious man at the top of a crumbling FBI, which is really sad because the FBI heretofore was the world's premier law enforcement agency. Kash is just a MAGA broadcaster who is looting the American taxpayer's wallet for self-gain, just like every other Trump cabinet member has done. He's flown the FBI private jet to his girlfriend's concerts to visit her in Nashville. He has forced FBI specially trained agents to play security detail not only for his girlfriend while she's out partying, but also reportedly for her drunk girlfriends as well while they're out in the town. He's flown to wrestling matches back and forth to Vegas where he lives because he refuses to live in DC, which is where every other FBI director has ever lived. And all this from a man who had these criticisms to say about former FBI director Christopher Wray.
I'm not saying take all their funding. I'm not the defund everything guy. I'm just saying Chris Wray doesn't need a government-funded G5 jet to go to vacation. Maybe we ground that plane. $15,000 every time it takes off. Just some thought.
Minimum.
It's ironic that they're saying, oh, you're going on vacation or you're going to see your girlfriend perform. And if I was actually abusing it, I would go see every one of her shows. I think I get to like 15%.
Oh, cry me a flipping river, Cash. Only 15% of her concerts on the U.S. government-owned jet that we're paying for? But what do you expect from appointees who are working for a man who has pocketed more than $4 billion off of the presidency, most of it illegally, that we're paying for, who insults women while congratulating the U.S. men's only hockey team and is at the center of the largest child sex abuse trafficking ring in the world? Who else? And obviously I'm talking about Trump. So here's my take on all of this. It's utter disgust. I see this insecure little man in Kash Patel trying to be cool with the U.S. hockey team, a place that he would never be in without the fact that Donald Trump is insane and out of his rocker enough to appoint him to be FBI director, a position, by the way, that he has no business being in.
That really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And there was another exchange. Patel himself screenshotted a post by my colleague Carol Lenig underscoring what happened, why he was at the hockey game, and suggesting that it was inappropriate to even mention that because he also had official